Hi guys, today's video is on another method to solving a system of equations. So far we've done graphing and we've done substitution. This method is called elimination. So again, it's a method used for solving systems of equations by adding, I'm going to put a plus sign, or subtracting to eliminate a variable. So the whole goal is to use addition or subtraction to get rid of one of the variables. Because as we've seen, we always have an x and a y. So we're going to use addition or subtraction to get rid of one of them. So our steps to solving them. Step 1, make sure the equations are lined up. And what that means is make sure the x's are on top of each other and the y's are on top of each other and the numbers without a letter are on top of each other. Step 2 is going to be to add or subtract the equations to eliminate the variable with the common coefficients. So remember, a coefficient, this is the number in front of a variable. So for example, if I said 2x, 2 would be the coefficient. Step 3 is to solve for the remaining variable, and step 4 would be to substitute your answer you just found into either original equation and solve for the other variable, which is what you've seen with substitution, where we would maybe find y and plug y in to figure out our x, or vice versa. So let's do an example. So on this first one, it says y equals 3x plus 4 and y equals x minus 2. So notice everything is lined up, right? We have the y on top of the y, we have the x on top of the x, and we have the whole number by itself on top of the whole number by itself. So everything is lined up. So that's step 1. Then it says step 2 is to add or subtract the equations to eliminate. So I'm going to rewrite these over here first for me. So I have y equals 3x plus 4, just so I have some more room, and y equals x minus 2. All right, so if I wanted to eliminate, you need to choose whether you're going to add or subtract. So what that means is if you were to add these lines together, would it make the variables go away, or at least one of them? So you would check, if I did y plus y, would that make it go away? No, that would be 2y. What if I did 3x plus 1x? No, that would be 4x. So that's not going to make anything go away. What if I subtract y minus y? Well, look at that. That cancels. There's nothing there anymore. What about 3x minus x? That's 2x. And then 4 minus negative 2. Remember, minus and negative is like adding. So that would be 0 equals 2x plus 6. And now I can finish solving this for x. So I'm going to write it over here. So I'm going to subtract 6 and put it on the other side. 0 minus 6 is negative 6. So I'm left with negative 6 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2, and you get x equals negative 3. So that's great. You're halfway done. But then you have to go back and you can plug it into either equation. It doesn't matter which one. You'll get the same answer, and we're going to get y. I'm just going to go ahead and pick the second one. So where x is, I'm going to put negative 3, because I just found out that x is negative 3. So when I do negative 3 minus 2, I get negative 5. So my solution, remember we write these as a coordinate, my solution is going to be x first, so negative 3, comma, negative 5. And that's your answer to number 1. All right, let's try number 2 together as well, and then I'll let you see if you can do number 3 on your own. So again, first check, is everything lined up? And you should see that it is, right? Because the x is on top of the x, the 4y is on top of the minus 1y, and the 13 is on top of the 3. So everything's lined up. So then we need to check, if we want to do addition or subtraction. And again, keeping in mind that the whole goal is to eliminate or get rid of one of the variables. And you're going to see when they're both positive, you're going to want to subtract them. All right, so we need to figure out what's going to make one of these variables go away. So we have x plus 4y equals 13 and x minus y equals 3. Well, I'd first check to see which one has the same number in front of it, right? So these both have a 1 in front of them, and they're both positive. So to get rid of it, we could subtract. So x minus x is just 0. It just cancels out. 4y minus negative y, that's like doing 4y plus y, so that would make 5y. And then 13 minus 3 is 10. So you have to make sure you subtract everything. So now I'm solving 5y equals 10. Divide by 5 and you get y equals 2. So now you have to go back up and you can pick either equation to plug it into. It doesn't matter which one to solve for x. I feel like this equation here looks easiest, so I'm going to use that one. X minus y equals 3, and now I know y is 2, so I'm going to do x minus 2 equals 3. To solve for x, I'd have to add 2 to both sides, and I would get x equals 5. So I found that x equals 5 and y equals 2. So the solution is 5, 2. All right, go ahead and try number 3 on your own. Again, the variable you're going to want to eliminate is the variable that has the same coefficient in front of the letter. And then you have to choose to either add or subtract to eliminate that variable. All right, let's go ahead and do number 4 together. So we have 4x plus 2y equals 6 and negative 2x plus 2y equals 18. So first thing you want to see or check, are they lined up? And they are, right? Our x's are on top of each other, our y's are on top of each other, and our numbers without the letters are on top of each other. If they weren't lined up, you would move things around to make them lined up. The next thing you want to check is which variable has the same coefficient in front of it, and it would be this 2y. Oopsies. Right? We have a 2y on top, and we have a 2y on the bottom. So that's going to be what we eliminate. And since they're both positive, we would subtract our lines to make them disappear. So I'm going to do 4x minus negative 2x, and that makes 6x. 2y minus 2y cancels, that's just 0. And 6 minus 18 is negative 12. So again, the whole goal is to eliminate one of the variables so that you're just left with one, and that way you can solve for it. So now I'd have to divide by 6 on both sides. When I do that, I get x equals negative 2. And that would be your solution. At this point, you can go back up and plug that x is negative 2 into either equation to figure out y. I'm just going to pick the first one. So that says to do 4 times x plus 2 times y equals 6. And I know x is negative 2. So I'm going to do 4 times negative 2 plus 2y equals 6. So that makes negative 8 plus 2y equals 6. So I have to solve this for y. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. I'm left with 2y equals 14. My last step is going to divide by 2. And I'm now left with y equals 7. So I'm finished. I know that my x coordinate is negative 2 and my y coordinate is 7. So the solution to this system of equations is negative 2, 7. All right, let's try number 5 together. So we have 4x plus 9y equals 5, and we have negative 4x plus 7y equals 11. So we can see everything's lined up. Then we can also see that this x both has a 4 in front, but one's positive and one's negative. So if we want those to eliminate, we're actually going to add them together since they're already opposite in sign. So we can just add them. So 4 plus negative 4 cancels. 9y plus 7y is 16y. 5 plus 11 is 16. Then we're going to divide both sides by 16, and you get y equals 1. So when you, from the get-go, have a positive 4 and a negative 4, we can add them together, and they will cancel each other out. All right, so now I know y equals 1, and I'm going to go ahead and plug that back in, and it doesn't matter which one I plug it into, but I need to plug it in for y. I'm going to plug it into this first one because there isn't any negatives, so that sounds like a great idea, but it wouldn't matter. So where the y is, I'm going to change that to 1. So I have to do 9 times 1. If I finish solving, 9 times 1 is 9, so I have 4x plus 9 equals 5. Then I'm going to have to subtract 9 on both sides, and I get 4x equals negative 4. My last step would be to divide by 4 on both sides, and you get x equals negative 1. So I know x is negative 1 and y is positive 1, and that would be my solution. All right, go ahead and try number 7 on your own now. So think about this. We have x minus y equals 10, and 3x plus y equals 18. So you have something similar to what I just had, where you have a minus of something and a plus of something. So you're going to want to add them together. All right, I'm going to do number 8. So notice how things are not quite lined up. We have x equals 3y plus 11 and 2x minus 3y equals 16. So I need to move this to the left side of the equal sign to make it line up. So to move something to the other side of an equal sign, we do the opposite operation. So since that's a positive 3y, I'm going to subtract 3y to put it on the other side. So I could rewrite this x minus 3y equals 11. The second equation is going to stay the same. It'll just be 2x minus 3y equals 16. All right, so now everything's lined up pretty. Now look for which variable has the same coefficient in front of it, and it's going to be the y. They are the same sign, so let's think. If I did negative 3 plus negative 3, that would make negative 6, so that doesn't help. If I did negative 3 minus negative 3, that's like doing negative 3 plus 3, which is 0. So that's the right one. So we're going to have to subtract. So we'll do 1x minus 2x, and you get negative 1x. Then negative 3y minus negative 3y. My minus negative makes a plus, and that makes 0 y's. Then 11 minus 16 is negative 5. So we have to subtract everything. Then we're going to divide by negative 1. And you get x equals positive 5. So once you know x, you can go back to find y. And again, it wouldn't matter which equation you used. I'm going to go ahead and use this top one. So the top one said x equals 3y plus 11. And I just found out that x was 5. So I'd have 5 equals 3y plus 11. Finish solving this for y. I'm going to subtract 11 on both sides. I get negative 6 equals 3y. Divide by 3, and you get negative 2 equals y. So on this example, I found that x was 5 and y was negative 2. So that would be your solution. All right, go ahead and try number 9 on your own. And that concludes your video on solving systems of equations using the elimination method. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask.